Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. All right, let's get to talking a little bit. Last night, I was thoroughly disappointed to find out that Keanu had been evicted from the Big Brother house. Granted, it seems like Keanu was going to be evicted from the Big Brother house anyways, but they did it in another way. From what I'm gathering, because I haven't been able to get one solid piece of information, which seems to be the theme of season 27 of Big Brother, but from what I'm gathering, it seems like the eviction for Keanu might have taken place before they did whatever competition. Like they just completed the eviction and then it seems like they might have just done a regular HOH competition post eviction, and then after that regular HOH competition, Morgan wins, and now it basically just cut short Vince's HOH to give to finish the HOH on Monday rather than Thursday, and because Morgan got the room, so it actually, in my opinion, kind of sucks for Vince because he didn't get the whole week of the HOH, even though he's already been there. I think this was his third one, if I'm not mistaken. So, but instead of him getting Thursday to Thursday, he now got Thursday to Monday instead. So it was just the mayhem, just cutting it short, cutting his HOH reign short, ending the votes or doing the votes on Monday, which seems like that's probably what happened because that makes a little bit of logical sense. And then from there, just doing the new HOH competition right then and there, because the next thing that we have is really the final HOH competition, because that's all we have time for, which is basically, they're going to have the power of veto comp whenever they're going to have it. Maybe now they're going to have it today. Let me see. I don't know how they would do it in a short week. Okay, typically the HOH competition is one going into Friday morning, and then the power of veto competition is Saturday. So yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense for the power of veto competition to now take place on Tuesday, since the HOH comp is on Monday. Ava and Ashley are on the block. But as we know, once it gets down to four, the only thing that matters is the power of veto winner. So, Vince has a 2 in 4 chance of staying in the house because obviously, well, I can't even say obviously, because the ladies, even though I have not actually heard their plans, but I feel like they might think that they have a better chance of winning sitting next to Vince at this point versus sitting next to Morgan. But truthfully, I feel like I think Ava might be Vince if Ava was sitting next to Vince. I don't think Ashley beats Vince if she sits next to Vince, unless the jury is like really, really, really bitter. Yes, I give credit to Ashley's social game, but the fact that she got here and she didn't really win any comps, and it's not like, okay, a social game of avoiding the block a bunch and being able to survive and adapt and not really be at the top of anyone's alliance and still survive. Yes, there's some impressiveness to that, but in order to win without comps, I think she won like one thing way in the beginning. I can't remember if it was a blockbuster or veto, but I know she was on the block early and won and got herself off. But you have to have a Derek level of gameplay, like a season 16 Derek level of gameplay for your social game alone to get you first over somebody who has made game moves and has HOHs and vetoes and stuff under their belt. So I think the only way Morgan doesn't win is if Morgan is not in a final two chair. And because she guaranteed herself with this win a chance to play in the final HOH comp, the only way that she wins is if somebody beats her in the final HOH competition and then chooses the other person to sit next to them. And honestly, that would be devastating because the season could have been good without production meddling with it so much, but because they did, that's the only person that I would be okay with winning out of the four. Like I said, I wanted Ashley to win all the way up until maybe 3 weeks ago, because at that point in time, I said to myself the same thing I was saying about Will. I was like, they just need a win or two. Give her one HOH and a power veto and a good argument, and I could see her taking it home. But then when she just kind of survived in the house, I mean, there's some credit to be given for that, but I guess it's possible if the jury was bitter, then she could beat a Vince. But Vince and Ashley next to each other is one of the most unlikely of scenarios, I feel like. I feel like this is Morgan's to lose. I feel like where we are right now in the game is almost like when Xavier was in the final three with Azza and Big D. All right, rip out my pancreas. Goodbye. Who is this? Did I delete the wrong message? I'm sorry about that. I meant to delete rip out my pancreas message, skeleton and bug. I have rectified that situation. Yeah, so if I was thinking about Morgan's last week, and how before last week Thursday, you could probably call her and Vince about even, or you might even have been able to edge Vince, depending on what he did with that HOH. But he really, all those late night talks, I don't know whether that's game or whether that's personal, but having Lauren in the game and on his side would have done so much for him. And she really talked him out of his game and said, this is best for us. Kudos to her, man, because you don't owe anyone anything in the Big Brother game. But that was his worst mistake, was getting Lauren out of the game. Because now here we are. Listen, Morgan had so many paths to lose this game a week ago, right? Kelly and Lauren were both gunning for her, and both of them have won comps. So she experienced her best case scenario with convincing Vince to get rid of his biggest ally. And then Kelly going out first, actually, in the first eviction, and then Lauren going out in the second eviction. That took away some of her largest competition and two people that she knew for sure were working against her. And now her biggest competition was Vince, but she has Vince wrapped around her little finger. So Vince, you done messed up. You done messed up bad, sir. And your only way to change the outcome of your decisions by the only way to change the outcome of your decisions. Well, you can't change the outcome of your decision. The only way to kind of luck out, the only way Vince has a scenario to win, obviously, is exactly what Keanu said, which is he can only win if Morgan is not there. And the only way Morgan cannot be there is if either himself or Morgan excuse me. That's if either herself or Morgan wins the final HOH. It wins the power of veto, wins the final power veto. And then, he's safe that way. And then he wins the final HOH and then chooses the remaining person of either Ava or Ashley, whichever one of them remains after this week, over Morgan. So it's a very small, slim, unlikely road. All right. The trolls are out tonight. What up, trolls? The trolls are not even smart anymore. That's the thing. I miss the days when the trolls actually said things that were funny or original. But it's like they just come on here and make the exact same comment with different usernames. Also, shout out to anyone who's blocked and still watches my channel, because you are the real MVP. People who are willing to give my algorithm a boost. People who are willing to give my algorithm a boost. Without actually being able to talk. That's a special level of, I don't know whether to call it dedication or obsession. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. 4 people came on today and were like, are you in a horror movie? I can't see you. You're black and it's dark. Bro, if you're gonna be racist, at least be funny. That's half of it. Half of it is y'all not being funny. That bothers me. If y'all made it funny, I'd be like, ha, that's a good one. I like that. Talk that racist-ish. But it's not even funny, so I can't even say that. Yeah, so it's Morgan's game to lose. I hope the power of veto is today, because I don't have any interest in the feeds anymore. As I said earlier, I'm just interested. It's like you read a book and you get to the last chapter, and it's like closing the book before the book ends, but you've already read 300 pages. So don't worry, I'm gonna take us home. But I am gonna be one of those guys who just basically depends on Twitter updates, and then I will watch, of course, today's episode. I think there's an episode today, right? If so, if it's a Wednesday episode, I'll be watching that, and the Thursday episode, I'll always watch that. And then I don't know if I'll really care to watch the look back episode. If it keeps my attention enough, I'll watch it, but it usually doesn't. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday's finale night, which is gonna be. My hope is that honestly that it's like Morgan and Ashley, and I hate to even throw Ashley out there like that because I don't think there's a bat's chance in hell of Ashley beating Morgan, but I just don't want to see Vince there. I just really have not liked how he's played the game, and we all know for reasons that I have explained before, namely Ava becoming kind of nasty and then making up rumors. I won't call it rumors, but just exaggerating this whole Rachel yanked me thing. I haven't been a big fan of that. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the last. What do we have left? We're Tuesday today. 5 days. We got 5 days left until this season mercilessly comes to an end. And we'll see who holds the BB27 crown. But y'all got to do better. Big Brother, y'all have got to do better. Otherwise, you are going to lose myself and others as a fan. All right. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified when I drop some more great content. Thank y'all. Have a good night.